Have you used ChatGPT for your language learning? I'm asking you that because I was browsing the internet on YouTube and there was a video from someone, and I'll leave a link here, showing how to use ChatGPT for Spanish. And he used it in several ways, which got me to thinking, one of which was to ask ChatGPT to write a story, I think, using the 200 most frequently used or most common words of Spanish. And so there's a part of the video that talks about that. And then he has a part of the video where he talks about how he speaks to ChatGPT in a very robot-like voice, engages in a dialogue with him. So I'm not a strong fan of either of these things, but I will tell you what, inspired by that, I then went and explored a bit. So, in my Turkish, first of all, I'll update you. I've been doing a number of things. I've been listening to a lot of self-help podcasts, and I'll leave a link to the podcast that I've been listening to. And this is a podcast where they review popular self-help books. Now, each of the podcasts is 5 minutes or so long. I'm able to go through them and knock off, before even starting into it, a lot of vocabulary beforehand. Then, read through the video in Turkish, and sometimes I'll review the words afterwards. But because it's all about self-help, the vocabulary is quite similar. From one episode to the next, he's talking about some of the same things about how to organize your life, how to get up early, how to plan and develop good habits, and all of these things. So I said to myself, hey, maybe that's a good sort of type of content to use for learning any language. So then I went to my ChatGPT and I said to myself, why don't I ask ChatGPT to write me a 1,000-word summary of atomic habits in Turkish? And I don't believe it's necessary to specify the most common words, because if ChatGPT is going to try to shrink the book down to 1,000 words, and it ended up with like 750 words, it's going to basically simplify the vocabulary. That's going to happen naturally. You don't have to force ChatGPT to just use high-frequency words. But I did that. Of course, I don't have natural audio, but I have the artificial audio for it. But I can go in and I can take, the 10 best-selling self-help books in English and ask ChatGPT to write a summary of 1,000 words in French, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, you name it, Polish, and I'll have that, and I can go through there, and it's going to be a lot of relatively high-frequency words, relatively meaningful words that appear often in self-help type books. Obviously, it's better if you have a podcast series summarizing self-help books because you get the natural audio. But if the goal is through link, where you can get a summary produced by ChatGPT, import it into link, learn all the words and phrases, that's still a very useful activity in my opinion. So I'm going to do that. So there's one example of how I use ChatGPT to create sort of meaningful content for me. As long as you don't have to read all 300 pages, if you can get it summarized, it's quite interesting to see what some of these popular self-help books are saying, and to see it in the language that you're learning, and to study it on link and look up the words. And by doing this, by the way, with the Turkish podcast series, I'm really cranking up my known words total. Now, granted, again, Turkish, a lot of words have 10 different forms, but I'm already at 25,000 known words, and I started whenever it was, the beginning of June, I was at 8,000 words. So I'm able to really add to my known words total. So that's working very well. So then I said, ChatGPT, write me a 1,000-word summary of the history of the Ottoman Empire in Turkish. And of course, immediately I got that. So now I can study that on link. I imported and study it on link. And then I said, write me a 1,000-word summary of the history of Turkey since the year 1900. And of course, I got that right away. So if I want to get something on, the golden age of philosophy in Central Asia of 1,000 years ago in Turkish or even in Farsi, I haven't tried it, but maybe I can get something like that. And you can try the same. Get ChatGPT to create summaries of books or summaries of periods of history within 1,000 words or so. It seems to stop at about 750. So if you say 2,000 words, I don't think it'll go that far. Maybe I'm wrong. You can try it. But it enables me to get into areas of interest to me in the language that I'm learning and study them on link and acquire the vocabulary. It's working so well that I decided that I should get into literature. I became an annual member, a year member of a Turkish audiobook, ebook website called Storytel. And on my iPhone, I have audiobooks written by Elif Shafak. And so I can listen to them on my iPhone and not understand them very well or at all. I mean, bits and pieces. So I said, but I also want to buy the book. Like I want to buy the book, Havanın Üç Kızı, because I like reading in my bed before I fall asleep. But of course, I can't understand it very well. So then my teacher was able to find me an ebook. So I was able to import the ebook into Link. So now I can do the book in Link and acquire some of the words so that when I read it over here, I might understand more. But then I went to ChatGPT and I said, please give me a 1,000-word summary of this book in Turkish, which ChatGPT did. The summary was excellent. The main characters, the main theme, lots of different things that give me a better sense of what's in the book. And the book is 300 some pages long. I now have a summary of it. And between that summary and then going through the ebook on Link, eventually I'll get to where I will enjoyably be reading the book itself. So just some thoughts, and I'm more about input. I'm not interested in talking to a robot. I very much enjoy talking to my Turkish tutor, and I have 2 tutors now, twice a week each, so that's 4 sessions. I enjoy speaking with them. One tutor in particular is very good. He grabs the structures where I have trouble. I think he uses ChatGPT to generate examples. Then he sends me a report with lots of examples of the structures where I struggled. But I enjoy that interaction, that human interaction. I mean, the hour goes by very, very quickly. I can't see myself doing that with a robot, but that's just me. Some people may want to use ChatGPT in order to talk to their iPhone and have some practice in speaking. But personally, I prefer to build up my familiarity with the language, my vocabulary, my ability then to recall words and structures that have become a part of me and try to use them in genuine conversation. Just thought I'd share with you then some of the ways that I'm using ChatGPT to improve in my Turkish. And I do think I am improving. So thank you for listening. Bye for now.